Be honest, buying a car feels like progress, doesn't it? It feels like you've finally made it. It feels like you've crossed the finish line of American adult life. You have a job, you have a bank account, and now you have a car. Congratulations, citizen. You played the game, you followed the rules, you did the right thing. But here's a question no one will ask you in the showroom while you're signing the papers with a goofy grin on your face. What if that car is exactly what's preventing you from building any real wealth? Let me tell you about Dave. Dave lives in some generic suburb of any American city. It could be Houston. It could be Atlanta. It could be that monotonous place where everyone lives an hour from anything interesting. Dave works 40 hours a week, sometimes more. Dave saved up for months, researched on YouTube, compared specs, read reviews. And then Dave walked into the dealership and walked out with a gleaming sedan worth $35,000 with 5 years of financing at 6.9% interest. And Dave felt like the king of the world for about a week. Then reality came knocking, and it looked like a monthly bill of $680. Because here's what they don't put on the dealership billboard between the flag and the helium balloon: a car is not an asset. A car is a financial black hole with alloy wheels and synthetic leather seats. And the American system was built meticulously, surgically, with the dedication of a Swiss craftsman to ensure you never realize this: that you buy, that you pay, that you believe you're making progress while you're going backwards at 80 miles per hour on Interstate 95. The moment you walk out of the dealership with a new car, you've already lost between 10 and 20% of its value. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is depreciation. It's math. It's the market telling you that the shiny object you just bought is already worth less than you paid for it, and will continue to be worth less every month, every year, inexorably, like an hourglass full of money. An average vehicle loses about 60% of its value in the first 5 years. 5 years. The same period as your financing, which means that by the time you finish paying, the car has already become almost half of what it was. But wait, because financing is just the beginning. Then comes insurance. In the United States, car insurance for a young driver in a big city can easily cost over $2,000 a year. That's without an accident, without a claim, just for existing and having the car parked on the street. Then comes fuel. And depending on where you live, you might be filling up twice a week. That's easily $200, $300 a month going down the drain in gasoline that you use for commuting to a job that pays for the car you use to get to work. Nice cycle, isn't it? Henry Ford would be proud. And then come the maintenance checks, the oil change that costs you $120 and takes 20 minutes. The tires that need to be changed every 40,000 miles for over $1,000 a set. The battery that always dies in the winter. The fuel pump that nobody knows why it fails, but it does. The air conditioning that decides to take a vacation in July in Arizona when you need it most. And all of this, every penny, comes out of the same pocket that should be building your future. Do the math. Monthly loan payment, $680. Insurance, $170 a month. Gas, $250 a month. Maintenance, about $80 a month on average. Parking, $40 a month if you're lucky. That's over $1,200 a month. Over $14,400 a year for a vehicle. For a machine you use 45 minutes a day on average. Spend 5 years paying for that, and you'll have spent over $72,000 on something that's now worth $18,000. Tell me that's not you. Go on, tell me. And the best part, and this is where the system reveals itself as a work of art, is that nobody forces you. There's no man in a suit pointing a gun at you. There's no decree. You do it of your own free will because American culture has built a world where not owning a car is almost impossible. Cities were planned around the automobile. Public transportation has been criminally underfunded for decades. Suburbs were built on the assumption that every adult owns a car. And so you have no choice. Either you have a car or you can't get to work, shopping, your children's school, the doctor. They don't lock you in a cell. They lock you in a car dealership. And when you finally paid off the loan 5 long years later, the car starts having serious problems. Those little things that kept creeping in, the strange noise you've been ignoring for 6 months, the dashboard light you covered with a sticker because the diagnosis cost $300. And then the dealership shows up again, smiling, with a trade-in offer, a new loan, and a new monthly payment. And the cycle begins again. You never really owned the car. The car owned your next 5 years. Now imagine what happens to those same $400 a month. Let's say you cut costs, bought a used car outright, no financing, invested in a stock index over 30 years, with compound interest at a historical rate of 7% per year. You'd be looking at something close to $480,000. $480,000 with the same money you were turning into depreciation and used oil. But of course, that doesn't give you that feeling of sitting in brand new synthetic leather and turning on Bluetooth in the first week. I'm not saying you don't need a car. Depending on where you live in America, you absolutely do. I'm saying you need to stop treating transportation as identity. The most expensive car you can afford isn't an achievement, it's an anchor. It's the system convincing you that status is worth more than financial freedom. And the system is very good at it. Decades of advertising, decades of Hollywood movies where the hero has the amazing car, decades of suburbia built to make you believe you need a vehicle weighing 2 tons to pick up milk at the market 4 blocks away. Control is simple, even if execution is difficult. Either you control the cost of transportation, or the cost of transportation controls you. Buy used, pay cash, if possible. Keep the car longer than you feel comfortable. Use public transportation when available. Negotiate as if your life depended on it, because, financially, it does. Every decision you make in the dealership parking lot will follow you for 5 years. 5 years of installments, 5 years of inflated insurance, 5 years of value evaporating beneath your feet while you believe you're making progress. If you want to understand how the system really works, not just in relation to cars, but in relation to everything that's designed to look like an achievement and actually functions as a trap, you're in the right place. Because this channel exists precisely for that reason, to pull back the curtain, to show you the mechanism, to do what no advertisement, no bank financial advisor, no dealership is interested in doing, telling you the truth without trying to sell you anything afterward. You thought you bought a car, but maybe, just maybe, you bought a very well-polished cage with air conditioning and a good sound system. And the worst part? Most people will hear this, agree for 30 seconds, feel that uncomfortable sting in their chest, and then open the dealership's app and start researching the next model. Because the system doesn't need to deceive you. It just needs you not to think long enough to realize what's happening.